Jesus freak here. My check went through a few hours before I was expecting it to, so I said, you know what? I'll just start getting stuff out of the way. I had already paid up my phone bill with money that was left over from last month. I used Christmas money from one of my friends to cover the power bill, so those were already off my neck. So after that, checked to see what the status was on everything. Paid off my internet, which I keep a month ahead because the bill comes due at an inconvenient time. Paid for my hosted servers, which some people might say, yeah, maybe it's a waste of money. To me, they've come in very useful. And then I said, you know, my renter's insurance payment comes due at the end of the month. I'm going to see if I can pay up some of it now. I was thinking, you know, what was due was 3 payments of $49.50. One at the end of January, one at the end of March, and one at the end of May, and then I'd be covered until the end of November. So I went through to their website. I was thinking of making 2 payments because I had enough money left over from having a couple bills already paid. Wasn't planning on paying the whole thing up. I said, you know, I'll pay about $100. Now the site, for some reason, wouldn't let me pay just one installment. It was all or nothing. So I had to do some thinking. Is the difference between paying one $49.50 installment, paying $100, or they say I can give them $133 and just get it off my neck. I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get it off my neck. That's a good thing because I have a couple annual bills that come up in May, and I think they're about $30 each. So that'll make that a little easier to deal with. And I'm not hurting for money right now. I got more than enough to get through the month. More than enough. And I'm not just saying that. Because I mean, I told one of my friends, you know, I'd probably tell you I had enough even if I didn't. Just because I didn't want her worrying. But I got more than enough. If I need money, if I need cash, I can get some cash. Still got a little cash in my wallet. Main thing I need for the cash, I need to get a roll of quarters or something. I've got enough to do that if I can find a roll of quarters worth. think I'm set. I blew out the last couple days, so I wasn't able to get any more groceries, which meant I was blowing through some of my reserve supplies instead of blowing through my usual purchases. That's not really a problem. It's like, is it really worse to blow through my hot tea stash, which is tea bags, lemon juice or lime juice, which just a little at a time. And I think it's called Demerara sugar. I'm not sure exactly what it's called. But it's a semi-refined stuff. That, maybe, 12 ounces of that instead of 8 ounces of Coke or 8 ounces of Sprite. Well, yeah, I crave that sting on my tongue. But I don't have any right now. That's not a big deal. I could go my whole life without pop if I wanted. I could go my whole life without a lot of things if I wanted. Like, I got alcohol in the fridge. I drink alcohol every now and then. There's one of my videos, I'm sure you could have seen a bottle of gin next to my 7-Up. Yes, that's exactly what I did. I made some gin and 7-Up. I think it was about a week ago. But I understand, alcohol. I've known people who were alcoholics. I've known people who get messed up when they drink. I knew someone who just lost his grip when he was drunk. He had enough of his brain submerged in the alcohol. He just had no idea. It's like they say, you're so dumb you don't know how dumb you are. He was so drunk he didn't know how drunk he was. Took his truck, nearly crashed into the front of the building where I had my apartment in the front. Destroyed the garage across the street. And I was in fear for my life. Because the guy, I had a few too many old Milwaukees. I know how it can affect people. I also know how it affects me. There was one time, I'd say it was probably almost a decade ago now. I think it was 2012, 2013. I chugged the mics hard. 24-ounce can with, I think it was the harder version, with 8% alcohol. And it was one time that I hadn't thought, every time before that I drank, I had a full stomach, so it didn't really affect me that much. But this time, I hadn't had anything to eat, and I was still able to reason correctly. I wasn't dizzy or anything, but I couldn't stand up straight. And that loss of control scared me. But I knew it wasn't the fact that I drank in and of itself. It was the fact that I had nothing to pad it out, and so more of it got to my brain. And it hit me harder than it usually did. That also told me, this is what happens to you when you get drunk. You get tired and you can't stand up. Everyone's different. It also gave me a good idea of what my limits are. And I've always other times kept within them. So I'm not concerned. But I understand that other people might not be able to handle that much. So yes, I drink. No, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not a drunk. I'm not a wino. There's a difference. And I know what the Bible says. A wine's a mocker, or strong drink's a brawler. And the one who's deceived by them is not wise. But that's the hint. The Bible also has positive things to say about alcoholic beverages. It's not all Debbie Downer. It's like, you really think Jesus made a pot of grape juice in Cana? Yes, some people believe that even now. The guy who started Welch's taught that. He was a Methodist minister. He was from a sect within the Methodist Church that believed in teetotalism. My own opinion is, if that's your thing, or if alcohol's too much for you to handle, then yes, teetotal. I'm fine with it. But I understand it's not the case with everyone. I like that phrase this casino up in Canada used to use, know your limit, play within it. I said, know your limit, stay within it. Anyway, to the topic at hand, I wasted the past couple days. So I'm really needing to go out to the store. Just so that I'm not a hypocrite in doing so, I'm going to wait until 10 o'clock, and then I'm going to do that. Anyway, Jesus freak out.